The MLB trade deadline has been chock full of exciting moves that could change the landscape of Major League Baseball. This season, we have seen some teams be extremely active as they try to make a World Series push, and it all started really on July 22nd when Nelson Cruz left Minnesota, went to Tampa Bay for a right-handed pitcher, Joe Ryan, and that was a move Tampa Bay really needed to make because they needed an extra bat because they just can't score offense. Their pitching is always sensational down in Tampa, but the hitting is definitely going to improve their team. Then right after that, July 26th, San Diego trades for infielder Adam Frazier. He can also play outfielder. He's a very utilitarian player, can play anywhere on the field, even center field if they need it. He's a big hitter. He's been hitting about 320 this season. He is a career 270 hitter. So I don't know if it was maybe a flash in the pan or he's going to be able to establish himself as one of the premier contact hitters in Major League Baseball. They had to give up Tucupita Marcano, Jack Swinsky, and Michel Milano. Tucupita Marcano is very similar to Adam Frazier, I believe, in terms of his potential. That is where he's most likely to get. Sorry, I'm checking my phone because you never know with this trade deadline. We still got about 2.5 hours to go from the time I'm recording this video. But I hope Adam Frazier is able to do something for the Padres, able to improve upon the team. They have been lacking in the runs department of late. Sometimes their offense will score 24 runs like they did against the Nationals. However, on other times, they'll just completely fall off the map and get shut out. So having Adam Frazier is most likely going to lead off for us because he is an on-base machine. And it's going to hopefully turn it around for the Padres. Next big trade, let's talk about... Actually, I'm going to talk about the Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros trade. So the Mariners traded and received Abraham Toro and Joe Smith. They lost Kendall Graveman and Rafael Montero. Only reason I'm really talking about this trade is because Abraham Toro, the day that he got traded, it was either the day of or the next day, he went and hit a 2-run bomb off his former team to help close the gap for the Mariners. So it was just a little fun tidbit. It happens. Sometimes you're on one side of the dugout and you got to walk to the other side, the other dugout. You got traded. But a trade I really liked for Milwaukee was Eduardo Escobar. They got a good power hitter. He's only hitting about 240, 250 right now during the season, but he does have a lot of power. He's a switch hitter, third baseman, can play that corner. Gonna definitely help Milwaukee make a push. They're currently leading the NL Central. Probably gonna hold it because the Cubs just sold everyone on their entire team, or they're in a progress of doing so. They've been talking about it a lot. Also, yeah, you just got to build for the future now, Chicago. Their window kind of closed up on them. Javi Baez hasn't been performing well. Chris Bryant has been having a good season, but time to get some prospects. The Oakland A's traded for Starling Marte, which is he's a very good center fielder. He's a very good center fielder for the Miami Marlins. Previously, they traded Jesus Luzardo to the Marlins. He's a starting pitcher with a lot of potential. He's only 23 years old. Hasn't been playing very well in the big leagues. Has about a 6 ERA currently. But to have him come in, definitely shore up that Miami Marlins bullpen, that rotation, That rotation is going to be deadly. That could be the best rotation in baseball in 2 years. And that's without a doubt, just because of how much potential, especially with Trevor Rogers, who's already an all-star, now they're adding Jesus Luzardo. Marlins are scary, man. They're building for the future. Big trade that happened. Joey Gallo goes to the New York Yankees. He's probably going to play left field. You have Giancarlo Stanton. He's going to move most likely DH. Aaron Judge is a superb defender. You can't really move him from his corner. Traded away a lot of prospects. Glenn Otto, Ezekiel Duran, Josh Smith, and Trevor Hauver. I'm not very familiar with the New York Yankees their farm. So I can't really tell you if they lost a lot, but from what it sounds like, they've lost a lot of top prospects that they had. Brad Hand goes to Toronto. So Toronto's been making a lot of moves to shore up their pitching. They score a ton of runs. Vlad Jr., Bo Bichette, they're just absolutely insane offensively. Teoscar Hernandez, Marcus Semien, but they do not prevent people from scoring against them. And that is the focus Toronto went into this trade deadline with. They made another big trade for a right-handed pitcher I'll bring up later. But we keep it moving. Chicago White Sox acquire Ryan Tepera. Ryan Tepera is a reliever, one of the premier relievers in baseball. They got him from the Cubs. Traded away Bailey Horn. Not really familiar with who that is. But keep it moving. LA Dodgers get Danny Duffy. He's been playing for the Royals. It's for a player to be named later. I never understand why that is. It's always a prospect, though, typically. But Danny Duffy has gone to the Dodgers, so they add another arm to their already stacked rotation. Yeah, it's disheartening, but I can't really say much. Talk about why it's disheartening in a bit. New York Yankees also got Anthony Rizzo. So they added another left-handed bat, on base machine. Anthony Rizzo has been stout for the Chicago Cubs for years at the first base position. Now he plays for the Yankees. He's most likely going to play first base because it's not like he's a bad defender. It's going to be a very, very interesting Yankees team after this trade deadline's all said and done. But here's the team. Here's the trade. Here's the everything that just made me sad. We got right-handed pitcher Max Scherzer and shortstop Trey Turner going to the Los Angeles Dodgers for Keibert Ruiz, Josiah Gray, Donovan Casey, and Gerardo Carrillo. The Washington Nationals actually did get a good haul in terms of prospects. Keibert Ruiz and Josiah Gray were both very highly touted. But the reason it upsets me is because Max Scherzer at 1 o'clock yesterday, Ken Rosenthal comes out and says, Padres finalizing deal to acquire right-handed pitcher Max Scherzer. And I'm ecstatic. I went to the Padres A's game on Wednesday. We were seeing Blake Snell pitch, and I was starting a "We Want Scherzer" chant. But goes to the LA Dodgers. He could have gone to any other team. There's 28 other teams in Major League Baseball he could have gone to. But he goes to the LA Dodgers. Now they got Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, Julio Urias, Danny Duffy. If that's not a stout rotation, I don't know what is. I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Man, I don't want to talk about it anymore. San Diego Padres acquire right-handed pitcher Daniel Hudson, so they shore up the bullpen. They get an absolutely premier right-handed pitcher to add into that bullpen. Bullpen has been taxed of late. Daniel Hudson's coming off the IL. I believe it was COVID-related. They lose Mason Thompson and Jordan Barley. I actually liked Mason Thompson. He throws a 99-mile-per-hour sinker for the Padres. He did get some big league time. Don't believe he got enough time in the big leagues to really show what he was about. He did have a little bit of control issues, it seemed like, but you get a Daniel Hudson, you get a reliever who's going to be able to help out. We needed someone like that. I mean, Nabil Crisma has been on this team for ages. Don't know why. Boston Red Sox acquire outfielder Kyle Schwarber in exchange for Aldo Ramirez. So Red Sox get even better, and that's what the trade deadline is about. It's about getting better. Adding another power bat. Kyle Schwarber has slowed down of late, but the Washington Nationals were clearly on a fire sale. Everyone's gone. You get a player. You get a player. Everyone is gone. Lastly, the most recent trade to occur. Toronto Blue Jays acquire right-handed pitcher Jose Berrios in exchange for Austin Martin, Simeon Woods, Richardson. So they acquire Jose Berrios. He's probably going to be their ace. He's their number one. There's no doubt about it. He's a premier pitcher. Comes from Minnesota. I mean, I'm excited to see what the Blue Jays can do with this newfound rotation, especially considering the roster they already have in terms of offensive firepower. Let me actually go look at the Blue Jays rotation right now because I should have checked this before. But in my opinion, they're going to be looking at Ichi Keen. Yeah, Robbie Ray, Hyunjin Ryu, Ross Stripling. You throw in Jose Barrios. This is it. This is a playoff run can be made. Let's see how far back they are in the AL East. Or actually, they're actually too far back. Let's see AL wildcard. AL East is the Red Sox are something, man. They are something. Let's look. And Toronto 51-48. The Mariners. Okay, so the A's have the second wildcard spot. Currently, Blue Jays are about 4.5 games back. They can go on a run. But look at this run differential. They're plus 97. But they just can't win the close games because their pitching cannot keep them in it. The only other team to have a positive run differential. Actually, there's two other teams that have positive run differentials, but they're both already wildcard teams. So, I mean, the Blue Jays can do it. They just beat up on the bad teams offensively, but their pitching cannot keep them in those games against the close ones. I think the Blue Jays can make a run. Hey, let's look at the NL wildcard. Padres 2.5 games back from the Dodgers. 5 games ahead of the Reds. So that wildcard is looking mighty fine for the Padres. That's the MLB trade deadline. 10:38 a.m. on July 30th. This is Pacific time, so it's 1:38 Eastern time. Are there any more trades that are going to be made? Is Chris Bryant going to the Giants? Is Javi Baez leaving? I haven't really heard much Javi Baez talk, so I don't really see that happening. But that's me going over the trade deadline. Probably won't make a video if anything happens. Follow me on Twitter if you guys want me to tweet about it. Bye-bye.